Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. On behalf of all of the Global Diaspora Confederation, we're absolutely thrilled to welcome you to the second annual Global Diaspora Assembly. It's truly fantastic to all be together. I'm delighted to introduce you to my co-host, Samantha. Samantha is a fellow volunteer of the GDC. She's a lawyer originally from Brazil and is now based in the Netherlands. She joined us in October of this year, and Samantha has made a huge impact, being a massive support within both our legal team and the 7 GDC activities, which we will talk to you about in further detail later on.
And welcome my fellow co-host. John is the Deputy Team Lead for fundraising at the GDC in the UK. A charter and award-winning marketer, John has worked in marketing positions within companies such as the BBC and Google and the UK housing sector. The Global Diaspora Assembly celebrates the International Migrants Day 2022 and also marks the closing of the second Global Diaspora Week, enabling the world's diaspora organizations to converse, advocate, and make recommendations for their diaspora communities at global level. GDC has done and progressed so much this year, and it would only be right to invite our chair here at GDC, Peter Kwok, to give us some reflections on the week, summary of the year, and beyond. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you so much, John and Samantha. Dear Deputy Director General, diaspora leaders, supporters, stakeholders, and partners, welcome to the second Global Diaspora Assembly, a truly magnificent moment seeing all of us coming together for one common purpose, to strengthen global diaspora solidarity for diaspora. This year, thanks to the immense support from IOM, we have taken a great step forward on many aspects. Remember the first Global Diaspora Week last year? We asked about your contributions to UN Sustainable Development Goals and Global Compact for Migration. We summarized and presented your community needs, challenges, and recommendations for every continent to Director General Mr. Vitorino, Ms. Daniels, and senior government delegations from over 20 countries. At the first Global Diaspora Summit in March, organized by IOM and the Government of Ireland. Then we traveled to New York in May to advocate for you at International Migration Review Forum, IMRF, at the UN headquarters. We proposed to hundreds of diaspora stakeholders in the room to involve diaspora organizations in their work, because you are one of the key benchmarks for measuring the impact on diasporas. Then we went to Fiji virtually to discuss at the National Diaspora Forum about harnessing diaspora representation to create greater diaspora impact. Not long ago, we also highlighted the effectiveness of global coordination of DOs, diaspora organizations, at the UN General Assembly side event. The topic was on humanitarian peace development nexus, and we were able to share our observation from our Global Diaspora Humanitarian Forum on Ukraine response, where we saw DOs helping each other out, and 76 recommendations were put forward. Not only that, last year, you shared your challenges and anticipation of what GDC can do for you. We know challenges vary country by country, continent by continent. So instead of tackling them one by one, in the coming years, we will build platforms to address those desperate issues. This is why we have the 7 impact activities serving as platforms, such as Academy for peer exchange and leveling up, coordination to strengthen communication and cooperation, fair, including trade and career fair to build partnerships and upskill diaspora communities to create sustainable employment, forum for stakeholders to hear directly from DOs, expo to showcase DOs impact that is often overseen, festival to promote the positivity and solidarity for diasporas from local to global level. And finally, the awards to inspire more diaspora contributions across the world. And who are the experts in building such platforms for diasporas? You are diaspora organizations. And this is why GDC is built by and for you. This year, we are also building the Global Diaspora Humanitarian Hub with IOM, and we saw over 100 diaspora organizations contributing to the foundation of the hub based on the global framework of diaspora for diaspora engagement in humanitarian assistance IOM developed last year. When we were finalizing our humanitarian hub framework, we were so surprised that the impact we wish to achieve through those platform activities, responding so well to what DOs were asking for, such as membership, coordination, capacity building, and fundraising. This is why later you will hear directly from the world's diaspora leaders and the next generation discussing how they see these impact activities relevant to diasporas, so important that they decide not to watch the World Cup. So on behalf of our board, Luisa, Kazim, Maria, Agnes, Felix, and Michal, and the tireless GDC Secretariat, I would like to send a huge thank you to Deputy Director General, all DO panelists, and 100 diaspora organizations, IOM colleagues, stakeholders, and our donor, USAID, for giving your support throughout the year and on this second Global Diaspora Week, in solidarity with all diasporas in need on this International Migrants Day. Thank you.
I hope you all feel the same way. You've really super inspired me to go into 2023 with all of that you've just shared. Fantastic. So I now have the esteemed privilege of welcoming our keynote speaker, the Deputy Director General of the Institute of Migration, IOM, Ms Ugochi Daniels. This is the second time we've been fortunate enough to have Ugochi speak to us as an assembly, and she has been the most incredible support to both GDC and the Global Diaspora Week, for which we owe her a massive vote of thanks. Taking office as Deputy Director General last year, Ugochi is a senior executive with over 20 years of diverse managerial experience with donor and United Nations entities, academia, as well as private sector institutions. Ugochi was named a Shiro of the United Nations for championing women's health needs in humanitarian emergencies. Shiros defend the vulnerable and fight for human rights, command forces, and build coalitions for peace, and take on the world's toughest challenges. She is proud to be part of a global community that builds partnerships for peace and development to solve global problems. She is an advocate for justice, equality, and equity, and believes in the importance of identity and being fully grounded in community. She has a strong passion for advocacy and funding for specific needs of women and girls, especially in humanitarian settings. Ugochi's career within the United Nations spans almost 2 decades. Prior to joining IOM, Ugochi was the Chief of Staff at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees, covering Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and the occupied Palestinian territory. Wow, and that's not even half of it. Ugochi, it's a true honor to have you with us, and I'm delighted to give you the floor.
Thank you so much, John. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, my fellow panelists, stakeholders, friends, colleagues. It's such a pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 Global Diaspora Assembly. I'm delighted to open the event after the success of the Global Diaspora Week. I'm truly impressed with the scope of participation and discussions during the week, and sincerely congratulate the Global Diaspora Confederation and other partners for having gathered so much interest and contributions. Last year, I had the privilege of closing the first Diaspora Week, and today I'm particularly thrilled to be here for three main reasons. First, to witness how synergies spark the development of creative and tailored transnational initiatives, such as the Global Diaspora Academy. Second, to confirm that a whole of society approach is crucial to develop programs and solutions for diaspora. And third, to applaud the sustainable plans and impactful activities coordinated by the Global Diaspora Confederation, such as this second Diaspora Week. During this year's Global Diaspora Week, more than 80 diaspora organizations across the world had the opportunity to share their experiences and views on how to maximize diaspora engagement through 7 flag activities proposed by the GDC. DOs from Asia, Africa, Europe, North and Central America, as well as the Caribbean, South America, and Oceania, gathered in regional consultations to discuss how to better implement capacity building, networking, cultural and entrepreneurial activities organized by and for diaspora. GDC's mandate and activities align with Objective 19 of the Global Compact on Migration, since they aim to build partnerships between diaspora and key stakeholders to promote knowledge and skills transfer between transnational communities and their countries of origin and destination. In addition, GDC's work has demonstrated to foster and facilitate the positive effects of migration for the realization of all of the Sustainable Development Goals. This week, we're also particularly encouraged by the number of diaspora involved in or interested in providing and improving humanitarian assistance, as evidenced by the nearly 100 registrants to the session on humanitarian assistance held on Tuesday as part of the Global Diaspora Week. This hub, supported by IOM, seeks to serve as the first diaspora-led platform for diaspora to come together, disseminate information, and access resources for the betterment of their communities and those in need of humanitarian assistance. We saw ways that diaspora leaders can work together and support each other in humanitarian endeavors through the GDC's Humanitarian Hub, including introductions to the Global Camp Coordination and Camp Management Cluster. For example, diaspora asked concrete questions on how the hub can support their work in specific ways, such as youth or Indigenous engagement, while CCCM cluster representatives explained their work and ways in which diaspora engagement could be viable, particularly through the localization agenda. The creation of structured institutions such as the hub is key to ensure targeted and effective, as well as sustainable response. Now, the future activities proposed by the GDC discussed this week, such as the GD Expo or the GD Festival, to name a few, illustrate the sheer uniqueness of diaspora and the need to keep engaging with, enabling, and empowering DOs. For IOM, these activities align with our approach to diaspora engagement, and we look forward to keep working together with the GDC next year to achieve these concrete goals. Closing this impactful week, I'd like to say once again how important it's been for IOM to be associated with this process and how privileged I feel for personally having been able to attend the GDA. From IOM, we want to keep creating and developing the conditions for migrants as diaspora to fully contribute to sustainable development in all countries, as stated in Objective 19 of the GCM. This year, diaspora engagement was at the core of discussions at the global, regional, and local levels. Through the Global Diaspora Summit held in April in Dublin, the International Migration Review Forum held in May, the side event at the UN General Assembly in September in New York, and most recently, the Global Community of Practice, or GCOP, on Development Without Borders, co-organized by the AU, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the African Development Bank Group, and IOM. We've not only jointly shed light to the unique role that diaspora play in humanitarian and development actions, but we've also contributed to reaffirming that the diaspora hold a seat at the table in key international processes. Member states are recognizing more and more the role of diaspora across the humanitarian development peace nexus. Today, 30 countries have supported the Dublin Declaration, the future global agenda for action to support and strengthen the positive role that diaspora communities play for development and humanitarianism. This key document presents specific solutions to well-known challenges in diaspora engagement, such as data collection, trust building, and capacity development. States and partners are committed to further institutionalizing the relationship with their diaspora, implementing appropriate policies to maximize their engagement, and further recognize their diverse skills and talents. IOM will keep privileging partnerships with these empowered actors with a unique vision and commitment to support their communities in both their countries of origin and destination. As I mentioned before, next year we will revamp and operationalize the IOM 3E approach: enable, engage, and empower, from the local to the global. And I'm sure this will be aligned with the activities organized by the Confederation and its members. We will also launch the Global Diaspora Policy Alliance, envisioned in the Dublin Declaration, to create an environment where states and partners can share best practices and targeted programs which consider thematic priorities. Through a sectoral approach, we aim to maximize diaspora engagement by aligning diaspora's talent and capacities with the opportunities and necessities of their home and host communities. For example, IOM's soon-to-be-launched Diaspora for Climate Action project aims to leverage diaspora contributions to climate action in countries of origin by creating opportunities for diaspora in the UK to engage with governments in countries of origin and other local stakeholders around key priority sectors such as the circular economy, clean energy, climate-smart agriculture, and disaster risk reduction. Through this targeted and revamped approach, we aim to keep providing whole of society solutions tailored to the needs of diaspora communities, which contribute to the systematic implementation of the SDGs. As John said, I am equally inspired and excited by all that we are going to do together next year. I wish you and your families across borders, wherever you are, happy holidays and a wonderful start to the new year. Thank you.
Deputy Director General, a heartfelt thanks from all of us for such an illuminating and valuable talk. So, riding on the wave of inspiration from Ugochi's words, we are very excited to launch our membership and humanitarian hub. I believe we're now going to watch a short video to find out what it's all about.
The Global Diaspora Confederation is a global movement of diaspora organizations working towards a world of peace, unity, and advancement for all. We bring together diaspora organizations to exchange and share best practices. We support and innovate global solutions that can be deployed locally by diaspora organizations. We facilitate cooperation and collaboration between diaspora stakeholders for positive change. During the last 2 years, the GDC has actively advocated and emphasized the important role of diaspora organizations at international events. The first Diaspora Virtual Exchange iDiaspora, Global Forum on Migration Development, Global Diaspora Summit in Dublin, and first International Migration Review Forum. During the Global Diaspora Week last year, the diaspora organizations appealed for the urgent need for the Global Diaspora Humanitarian Hub creation. Our first operation experience happened this year We are very grateful to our donors who have made it possible for us to organize buses from Italy to Poland and vice versa, allowing Ukrainian refugees to reach their families. At the same time, from the beginning of 2022, GDC, with the support of IOM and USAID, started its work towards understanding the concept and the main functions of the Global Diaspora Humanitarian Hub. More than 100 representatives of diaspora organizations and institutional humanitarian actors have been consulted during the consultation meetings held in March, April, July, September, and November 2022. Among the needed functions for Global Diaspora Humanitarian Hub, the diaspora organizations prioritized being the hub as platform to unite, space for learning, platform for coordination and connection, bridge for partnership. These are the foundations, functions, roles, and the mechanism to be included in the Global Diaspora Humanitarian Hub to strengthen and support diaspora organizations in humanitarian assistance. If you're running or have ever helped in a diaspora organization, you would know devoting your time and hard work for the greater good of diasporas does not always come with rewards and appreciations. What it guarantees, though, is the invaluable experiences and skills developed through your selfless act in exchange for a chance to make a positive difference to your community. As a diaspora organizations, while you focus on your diaspora communities, we focus on you. Be part of our journey of global solidarity and apply for GDC membership. Will you join us?